and then ultimately the decisions going back to the states. Here's what Pastor Brian had to say.
This week, America turned back the hands of time and declared war on women in this nation. I wanted us to stand resolutely to say to this nation that if America was authentically pro-life, then they would immediately abolish the death penalty. If they were really pro-life, then they would put more money into Head Start programs. If they were pro-life, they would seek to cure the opiate addiction in this nation. If they were pro-life, they would make sure that teachers feel safe in their schools. If they were pro-life, there would be stricter measures about gun control in this nation. If it was pro-life, we would not have to deal with food insecurity. But I stand with now the living matriarch of the movement, Maxine Waters, who said they have declared war on 32 million women in this nation. And one thing about a woman, when she is focused, she is not going to stop until she gets what she needs. We stand, but we realize that this is not just a woman's issue. Unless I don't understand how pregnancy works, men have to extend their voices as well. And so we speak to this nation to declare that New Birth stands with the amazing women of this church, of this community, and of this country, that women have the right to have authority over their body. And it should not be legislated by men in Washington, D.C.
This is absolutely outrageous, and it is a reproach to the gospel, reproach to the name of Jesus. It is one thing to say, listen, we are against abortion, but we have issues with voting Republican. We are against. It's another thing to speak against the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Now, there is the irony.
Anyway, I wanted to go over this video real quick about this Pastor Jamal Bryant, and shalom to the brother Judah Tribe 1969 who shared this with me. And I don't get to all of them, but I do see them. But I wanted to touch on this with this pastor. You know, it's all in the spirit. You know, this Pastor Jamal Bryant, this man somehow is comparing the ills and the errors of this society with the errors of Eve, right? Which is two totally different situations, two things that's really supposed to be, and mainly this thing with Eve, it's not even supposed to be in the control of Eve. For whatever reason, he believes, when I say Eve, the woman, he believes that the woman have the right to her body, right? That's what they say. Now, we think totally different according to ancient times. But for whatever reason, there's another body in Eve, and Eve is carrying this body for a man who implanted the seed in her. For whatever reason, he has nothing to do with it. And this is what Pastor Jamal Bryant and the agenda and everything that he's pushing is moving forward. Now, first, before I get started, I also say this Dr. Brown, who claims to be who he is, and y'all know who that is, a JU. Why haven't they, right, set the standard of what it is to be a leader, if that's who they are, according to the Bible? This is why we know they're fraudulent, and it's not the truth. If this man is claiming to be the holiest people of the Most High God, why aren't they pushing like the holy people? And he believes in the New Testament. That's why he's a knockoff. But why aren't they pushing like Apostle Paul was pushing? Where are them people hitting the streets, right, with a following and converting those people in the 48ers, converting them to be Christians, because that's where the ministry should be. That's where Paul went to. But anyway, that's another video. We can see the fraudulent behavior in the Babylonian matrix. Right? Let's get a scripture real quick. Proverbs 29:2. When the righteousness are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Got to understand that Eve is the weaker vessel, and Eve doesn't make proper decisions. Eve is guided into those decisions that are being made by the higher ups, right, who's setting the stage through an agenda. It's easy, you know, a couple of amenities, a few dollars, some nice cars, a couple of good jobs, freedom to gather abroad. That, you know, they need that there. They need this in place. Because what they're saying is, go ahead, if you lay, let me say the best way I can say it, if you don't righteously lay with someone, let me say that, you gather abroad, you're not likely, if you do, what they say, let me just say, if you do get pregnant, it's not likely that you want to keep it. It's not likely, because there's no building foundation, right? There's no father. Would Eve want to do that, right? Anyway, would Eve want to do that? Like, if you get together and it's a legitimate coming together and you get pregnant, well, naturally, you're going to want to keep it, at least for that time being. You're going to want to try to make it work. I'm just saying, in this society. But they found out something. They said, well, wait a minute. Let's make it, what they call it, promiscuous, right? And then when she gets impregnated, she's not going to want to be serious about the matter. But anyway, this guy, these people are supposed to be the people of God, though, right? And this man, Pastor Jamal Bryant. This man, Pastor Jamal Bryant, is helping Eve sin. He doesn't know the Bible at all. He's just a motivational speaker, and he's telling Eve, these are the type of men that don't enforce Eve's accountability. Right? They let them just do what they want to do. In fact, he's promoting, right, rebellion. He's promoting it. Deuteronomy 30:20. It says that thou mayest love the Lord thy God, talking about the children of Israel, right? And that thou mayest obey his voice, and that thou mayest cleave unto him, for he is thy life, right? He is thy life, and a lift of thy days. But you know what they did in the Christian church? Well, the law is done away with. Don't worry about it. All you need is Jesus now. And surely white Jesus hasn't done a damn thing for us, but been the image of destruction, the image of to do whatever it is you want to do. Don't worry about it. Jesus will cover your prayers. Right? That thou mayest dwell in the land which the Lord sware by thy fathers, unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give them. This also brings me back to the story of Exodus with Ramses II, I believe, when Joseph passed. And you can read the story. And later on he put a decree out to kill the firstborn. But before that, he worked the children of Israel. Right? Worked them with vigor. So they found out nothing new under the sun. Let's turn Eve against the husbands. Make it hard. And then we'll see what happened and how they hold up. Understanding this is all from the Lord, though. That's what must be understood. This is all sent from the Lord. So anyway, drugs in schools, right, he claims we should be pushing for pro-life for that. Pro-life for criminals in jail, on death row. We should push pro-life. If you're going to talk about this situation where they're getting their babies taken away, let me say that. Okay, if they're going to do that. The problem is, them little ones that's inside them, they don't know. Still all the hand of the Lord. But they have husbands or men that fathered them children, but they don't have anything to say about it. In other words, you have a license to kill. In other words, he's saying, well, you know what? Since America's doing this, Eve should have a right to do this. This proves that they're together. That's what it proves. They work side by side, hand in hand. Leviticus 18:1, right? And you got to understand, there's laws of the Bible which they're not following. And this man is supposed to be a Christian. He's supposed to know the Bible, right? He's supposed to know in the laws what it say not to do. Thou shalt not kill and murder, right? But then he'll link, other things that happen and say, well, they're killing in the military, they're killing this. Well, wait a minute, we're the children of Israel. This is what happened when you're taken away from your heritage. We wouldn't do this to one another. And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire of Molech. Right? Right? Neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God in the Lord. I am the Lord. And that's what has been done. The Lord said, wait a minute. Okay, y'all want to worship other gods? Don't worry, I got you. And that's what the Lord did, man. He punished the hell out of us, man. He put it on us. Jeremiah 32:35. And they built high places of Baal, which are in the valley of the son of Hinnom, to cause their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire unto Molech. So what do you think that is when these things are happening? It's a high-level sacrifice. Now, Hinnom, if I'm not mistaken, when you go in the New Testament, it speaks of hell, which is Gehenna, going to the valley of Hinnom, a place where the sacrifices and the filth was burnt, right? It says, to cause their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire unto Molech. So when they go to that parent plan thing, those are sons and daughters. With all that happening, you're telling these people, you're telling these Eves that you should have a right. And then you're going to compare it with the government and what they're doing wrong. But you as a so-called Christian man, you as a so-called Christian man who believes in the Bible, want to put one thing against the other when all of it's wicked. But notice he's not saying how wicked this man is that set all of it up. That's allowing the woman to do it. Nah, he ain't going to go into that. Somehow, he's got to take other situations and merge it with this situation to give justification for Eve to do what she does. Totally different situations. We're talking about life inside Eve. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about some criminal who shot and killed his whole family. Right? We're not talking about that. We're not talking about the drugs that this man and his system floated in here and put in our communities. In fact, why isn't this man speaking against all evils? He's justifying one wicked to the other. He who justified the wicked and condemneth the just is an abomination. He's justifying one evil for another evil when it's all evil. Straight to the point. It's all evil. Let's get, let me see if I got another one. 1 Samuel 2:7, 6. For the Lord killeth and maketh alive. Wait a minute. This pastor's supposed to know this, which the Lord is doing all the killing, but this pastor, in a mindset we're supposed to be in, he's supposed to know this. He didn't give you liberty and give Eve liberty, or according to the Bible, the righteous thing to do would say, okay, since the government doing it, they can't speak on it, let me do it. And guess what? Their right to do what they do, they still report to you know who to get it done. So they still don't have the right. They still got to get permission. This Pastor Jamal Bryant is a wicked, evil pastor who took the bag. You see how he's speaking? He don't even want to say that, man. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. So if you see the ghettos and you see drugs and you see all these things, the Lord done it. But what did he say not to do? Didn't he say not to murder and kill? Pastor Jamal Bryant, all he sees is, since one thing is wicked, then let the other thing be wicked, right? He's not saying all that is evil, so is this is evil. Yeah, he know what to say in front of his handlers, man. I just thought this was interesting. And then this Dr. Brown, whatever his name is, he claims to be the leaders of the world, or a part of the people or the leaders of the world, who runs all that, right? That's the crazy thing. They run it all and push all that out there, right? But there's no cry to them to stop it. Why ain't he stepping up saying, wait a minute, my people of God, this is a wicked, evil act. Let's not worry about the black woman and everybody else. Now let's focus on following God. But they won't do that. That's all I have on that. Shalom.